Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
Excited about getting it out
We
there.
love Monkey, so we're happy to help, even if I get nervous. So,
Whew, well, we love hearing that people love us. So I guess for the people that are going to be watching this, I will introduce us.
okay.
Hi everyone. My name's Shpila. I'm the marketing gorilla for Cheeky Monkey Media. And today we're going to be talking to Amanda Gonser. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Whew, okay. Who is the lead DrupalCon coordinator, which means that she manages the various community volunteer teams that go into selecting the content for the DrupalCons and making everything happen, and all of the other big Drupal Association events. If you attend any of those events, she's the Amanda from the emails.
That is me.
So the reason we're talking to Amanda is, one, because she's awesome, and two, because Amanda works with us at Cheeky Monkey on branding. So, hi Amanda, thanks for meeting us.
Hi, Sheila. Thanks for having me. I'm always excited to talk about how much I love you monkeys, although you're a gorilla, so that's really exciting. I've not met any gorillas, so.
Yes, I'm hoping I'm not quite as hairy as maybe would have been expected, but yeah. I wanted like a cuter monkey name, but they said no, I was a gorilla. So.
I like gorilla. It's very powerful and serious. It's very good of you.
Okay, perfect. So, for our viewers, can you tell us a little bit more about your role at the Drupal Association?
Yeah, you kind of touched upon it. I basically just live and breathe DrupalCon, which is the conference that we host a few times a year, normally 2 to 3 times a year, from the Drupal Association. And it's a gathering of people who use and build Drupal from all over the world. So kind of the way that you touched on it is I partner with the community. So I kind of do that in a couple different ways. One way is I'm kind of the person that reaches out to the local community and lets them know that DrupalCon is coming to their city, which is always very exciting, and then kind of tries to make sure that throughout the whole process of having a DrupalCon, from finding out to having it happen, that they're feeling like their city is being portrayed how they want. It's helping to grow their local community. They can get involved in various volunteer roles in the conference and just really working to continue to grow their Drupal community throughout the process. So that's one way that I reach out to the community through DrupalCon. And another way is the one that you mentioned with all of the emails and all of the sessions and things. So I manage all of the community selected programming that happens. So it's 150 plus sessions. That's summits if you go to a vertical summit, or sprints if you sprint with us on Friday or on the weekends before and after, or sort of social events like Trivia Night, which is very famous, or Women in Drupal, which is a really huge networking event. So all of these different moving pieces of the con, they're very community focused, and I'm really excited to get to work with people on them. And then the third arm of my living and breathing of DrupalCon is, of course, getting to work with designers like you guys at Cheeky Monkey. So the whole branding of the entire con, from the beginning when it's still a secret and Cheeky Monkey knows and they do a very good job of keeping it secret, and then all the way to the reveal, all the way to the conference where you have t-shirts and you have program works. And I mean, it's this really long process. So it's definitely something that I'm excited to do each time, though.
Nice. So 2 quick questions before we go into our official next question.
Sure.
I kind of forgot that some of our viewers might not actually know what Drupal is. What is Drupal?
Drupal is an open source content management system that is used to power some of the world's largest websites, and it's made completely by people from the community that are contributing. So it's this really amazing project that you can get involved with that makes a huge impact in the world.
And the DrupalCons are hosted in a different community, right? It's not in the same community every time.
Yeah, so we've historically moved cities each time, and so it's really an opportunity for different communities to grow and get more involved in the Drupal world. And so in North America, we've been in multiple different cities, and we do the same thing in Europe. And then a few times we like to do third cons in different markets. So we've just had one in India this year, and last year we had one in Latin America. So that's something that we're still strategically looking at, but definitely want to spread Drupal as far as possible.
Wow. So as an event planner, and clearly very successful, I'm not buttering you up. I don't know anyone that can handle that many events that are so big, so gracefully, because I hear things when you guys come back, and Amanda never has a hair out of place. She's always got it going. So I'm assuming very good. You're constantly juggling and reprioritizing a whole bunch of tasks, and you're dealing with the unexpected. So where does the design process come in there, and what does that process look like for you in the midst of all of this craziness?
Yeah, I mean, the design process is really this really long project that we have from concept to reality when we have the event and you see everything in real life. And so it's something that's a constant in my mind, and something that I really enjoy doing. So it's really helpful to have a partner like Cheeky Monkey that makes it exciting and fun throughout the whole thing, because in the end we do work on it for about 10 months. So that's something that could get a little tiresome, or you could get a little bogged down. But really, I mean, it starts, the original deliverables start when we find out about the city. And like I mentioned, it's still a secret. And we have a few people from the local community who know, and we tell them and they get very excited. And then we have them put together this document that sort of explains how they feel about their city, things that they want to highlight, kind of feelings that they want to convey about their city. And then we give that to Chris, a designer that we're working with at Cheeky Monkey. He's our designosaur, and he's fantastic. And he takes all of these words from various people in the community, and he somehow translates them into these amazing concepts. And so he delivers multiple different concepts that we share then with the community to kind of make sure that we're getting the vibe that they're wanting. So for example, in Baltimore, the community put together this document, and Chris saw all their words and made these fantastic concepts. We had one about pirates because Baltimore is a very seafaring town. While we loved that one, we decided piracy and a tech conference probably is not the best way to go, but it was awesome, very creative. They also noted things about the show Hairspray, which was hilarious and really fun. There's also a museum there. It's called the American Visionary Museum. That's just really quirky and crazy. And of course, the one that won out in the end is the Poe Raven concept. So just to be able to go from all these words to really these concrete themes and concepts is really a huge process in and of itself. And then kind of once we have that and we get buy-in from the community and then our team at the Drupal Association, we move forward and sort of set what it's going to be looking like for the whole con. So that's kind of where the overarching brand comes in, and it's more than just a logo. So at that point, we go into this really long project management process of, first we need to design a website, then we need to design everything that you're going to see at the conference, be that signs or program guides or speaker pins, things like that. So kind of to put that in perspective, if you've ever been to a DrupalCon, you probably have noticed, but definitely will not have counted unless you've helped us put out signs. But we have about 150 different signs at a DrupalCon to make sure you know where you're going, when things are happening, things like that. And so you see that, but you don't ever think that someone has designed all of those. And so things from that to the program guide, I mean, there's just so much that's going on. So it's really nice to have worked with Cheeky for quite a few conferences now, and they get it. And so it's really helps make the plate spinning definitely not fall.
Oh, good. So at least one thing is a little bit more, is a little bit smoother. I've done some events, and I know that there's always inevitably something, and it's always good to have that one piece that's more or less consistent.
Yes.
So when you do look for an event or design partner, what are some of the things that you're looking for?
When we have our call for designers, we are really looking to, we have kind of a twofold thing. We want to know the team, but we also want to see what they've done. So we like to kind of see their personality show through, because we really like to build more of a partnership as opposed to like a client-vendor relationship. So we like to see past work that they've done, because that really shows a lot of their personality, and it's a huge plus to see past conference work that they've done, because it shows you that the designer understands what they're getting themselves into. Not everyone thinks of a conference and it might be cool to have the brand of the website or something, but knowing that 150 signs are coming, it's nice to know that they're prepared. And then we also, once we move past the initial round of kind of looking at their responses to our call for designers, once we move past that, we have an interview with them, like a video call, because we just kind of want to meet them and see kind of the interaction between us and them, as well as how they interact on a team. So as I said, it's a really long project management process that we have. And so we want to make sure that we're having a good time, because at the Drupal Association, we have a lot of work, but we have a lot of fun doing it. So we want to make sure that the team that we're working with also has fun, and we want to work with them. So those are kind of the things that we mostly look for.
That makes a lot of sense. And in saying that, you've kind of answered my next question, which is, why are these components so important?
Yeah, I mean, sort of like I touched on. So knowing how to do a conference, any scale, it kind of builds this trust, because as the designer, they know what kind of we're going to be requesting, and that we've done events in the past, and so they can trust us on that sense, that we are not asking for outrageous things, and we do have processes. But then us as a Drupal Association, it's nice to see that they've executed something like that before, and that we can have faith that everything is going to come together at the end when all of the plates are spinning at the same time. So there's that aspect, that really the trust is really important, and that really feeds into the relationship. Like, we want to work with these people.
Right.
We don't want to have to like dread these meetings, or like feel like we're pulling teeth to try and get a deliverable. Nothing like that. We want to really enjoy the working relationship. So it's important that we like the people.
I imagine that also shows in the work. I know Chris's work is better when he's enjoying the work that he does, like most of us. So
for sure. I think I've even seen Chris smile a few times. So he's very mysterious and brooding, but sometimes I'm able to get him to smile. So I would say I'm doing a good job.
You're doing an excellent job, especially right now, because I think he's starting to channel a little bit of that Alan Poe kind of mysterious, dark and brooding. He's really getting into it.
Getting into character. I like it.
I would have liked to see him in a bit of a Hairspray outfit, but I'm not sure.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, I'm not sure how you'd feel about that.
Goodness.
Oh, gosh. So other than kind of that trust and Chris's moodiness and the satisfaction you get from making him smile, what is some of the other things that you like specifically about working with Cheeky Monkey?
Yeah, I think in working with Cheeky Monkey, like I mentioned, like they're just a really fun team. So from I'll be very professional, like I don't have to worry about working with Cheeky Monkey, which sounds maybe a little strange, but I feel for anyone who's ever worked with a vendor, which we'll say at this point, like there's always this apprehension of, are they going to deliver on time? Did I explain my needs well enough that they're going to give me exactly what I needed? They're not answering an email. Like, is it because they're behind? Like, there's always this apprehension. And so we've worked with Cheeky for a few cons now, and we're just continuing to build on a really good base of communication that we have. And so at this point, like, I don't worry about anything with Cheeky. You guys always deliver. Everything is fantastic. We have a real blast working with them. So I think that like peace of mind is an incredible thing that we really value. And then also I really dislike that. And we mostly work with Trina, who's the project manager, and Chris, who has been our designer. And then this year we've added in web execution to actually make the website. So we've met Justin and the web team, which has also been cool. But I just like these people that are on our team. And like I mentioned earlier, they're kind of an extension of our team. So there's not really much time that goes by that we don't share like a silly GIF or like say some sort of inside joke. We have like nicknames for each other and things like that. So, I mean, they're just my teammates, and it's really nice to be able to work with people that you like.
So back to Chris. I know he doesn't actually like attention, but we'll give it to him anyways. What wows you about Chris's work? And is there anything in particular that stands out for you?
I mean, Chris always delivers, and we're always impressed with his designs. But I think something that really is very cool is that he's really helped us do this transformation as a Drupal brand. So if you're a normal Drupal goer to DrupalCons, you'll remember that the logo used to just be a drop. It's called the DrupalCon, and inside it was some sort of representation of the city, but it was basically always a Drupal drop that had a little play with the city. So when we signed on with Cheeky, we kind of wanted to make it more than just a drop. And so incorporating the drop, because the drop is so integral to Drupal and Drupal as a brand, but recognizing that we're going to these amazing cities and there's so much more than just a drop's worth of a logo that we can be capitalizing on. So the first con that we did that with was Los Angeles, and he had this sort of like street art graffiti, and there were drops in the logo, but it wasn't the only thing that you saw, and you really got a feel of the city. So it was really nice to be able to partner with him and just kind of see his creativity run. But on that point, he's so intentional about making sure that we stay true to the Drupal brand and incorporating that drop. Like, for example, the Baltimore logo, you see it's a raven. It's very obvious. It's a blue raven. But then if you look at it, like in the inside of the wings, very inconspicuously, there's an inverted Drupal drop. And so that's a staying true to the brand, but also just having a lot of fun. So I think that I just really value his intentionality and how he's able to be really creative without being overtly like in your face, like, look, it's a Drupal drop. But it's really fun to work with him and kind of see what he has up his sleeve.
Oh, good. Well, I'm very glad, and I'm now gonna try and get some sneaky footage of him actually working on those concepts, because I've seen him kind of starting to like tie them in, and they're very sneaky. So it might be fun to do like one of those time lapses of him.
He did once try and trick me by giving us a site design concept, and he hid a bunch of monkeys in it. So, and he said I couldn't move forward until I found all the monkeys. So
that sounds like something Chris would do.
Yes.
For other event planners or marketers or anyone that's really working on a brand, be it for their event or their organization as a whole, or they're trying to make their event brand fit and flow with the rest of their brand, what kind of advice do you have for them and for choosing a design partner to work with?
I think a lot of it comes down to just communication. We have this really strong base of Cheeky has good processes, so we're never worried about them delivering. We do our best to have our processes of the event and kind of our waterfall working backwards from the event date. And so that's all solid to start, but then really just the open communication, and kind of as the project lead from the Drupal Association, a lot of it falls on me to make sure that I'm communicating what we need and why. A lot of it is really just the why, because a lot of the how, Chris would know how to do it better than I would. So these are things that we've done multiple times now. And so the fact that they kind of jump in and say like, hey, have you thought about trying it like this? Or maybe it could be more efficient if we did it this way. As long as we get to the final result, I'm happy with however we can do it. And it's really more of this partnership that we have, and having this open communication about why we need it, or who needs to sign off on it, or what it needs to include. Just making sure that we're sharing all of the information up front so it really can be collaborative. So that's really the thing that's made us most successful as a team and for our events, is just having that open avenue of communication.
So really finding, I guess, a team that you can trust and brainstorm with, and
exactly, and have a good time with as well. Because if you're apprehensive to talk to the person that you need to talk to, you're not going to share and kind of give the backstory or explain what your final goal is. Like, sharing all of that information, it might not be the most important thing for that one tote bag that you're designing, but having it as this overarching understanding of what the goal of the conference is, or if we're moving towards promoting Drupal 8, like maybe we should incorporate more of that. Just really making sure that we share what our mission is and what we're trying to achieve, so that we can partner with the designer and make that a reality.
That makes a lot of sense. And kind of the bonus question was, what do branding and design mean to you?
It's kind of hard because I kind of, like I talked about, I kind of live and breathe DrupalCon in 3 different ways. So I kind of live and breathe branding in 3 different ways. From like the local community standpoint, I want to make sure that they're happy with the logo. They want it to, not even the logo, just the brand. They want their city to shine. Some of the cities that we go to in the States, people have not been to, or maybe not, they're not like the most famous. Like, a lot of people don't really know about Baltimore. So we want to make sure that we're conveying something and giving them a bit of information about the city, even if they don't know anything about it. So we want to make sure that the local community feels like their community and their culture is valued and shines through. So that's kind of how I think about branding. But then also from the Drupal Association, we use DrupalCon as a marketing vehicle. So I want to make sure that the Drupal brand is strong and that it communicates that this is a Drupal conference. So making sure that all of those aspects are touched on as well. And then lastly, I guess like very event planner specific. When I look at a logo, I can say like, that's an amazing logo, but if it can't work on a big screen and then on a 3/4 inch pin or a presentation and a t-shirt, like it needs to be really versatile. So I think that the brand has to be very flexible. And that's kind of another lens that I look at it through. So a lot of different lenses, but it definitely is just about communicating what Drupal is and the conference that is to come.
So really a lot of flexibility, it sounds like, figuratively and literally.
Yes.
There's in terms of meaning and in terms of the actual design and imagery and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Many people in the Drupal community would also agree with me when they've seen Cheeky Monkey at DrupalCon. It's like, you guys are a fun bunch and you really deliver high quality products. So we're excited to work with you and have you be our partner.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thanks for making time to sit down with me. Was that a cat I heard whining in the background?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I locked him out of the room so he wouldn't come. Otherwise it would have been like cattails and cat claws.